Welcome back guys to another Zero DTE video, and today Coach Ernie is going to be talking about gamma scalping, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're interested in becoming a pro trader, check out the link in the description to join the world's #1 Zero DTE trade destination. Enjoy guys.
Now, I think you're alluding, Dave, to your ability to put on a scalping trade. And those opportunities generally aren't even worth considering at this time of the day, or they're much more difficult. Now, in higher volatility, where we are now, I would say that there's a better shot at considering them. But the biggest problem is gamma, low gamma in high volatility. And that is that early in the day, your profit curve is going to be relatively flat. Later in the day, it's going to start doing this. And this is a much better opportunity for gamma scalping than this. And during high volatility, you tend to be like this. In low volatility, you tend to be like this early in the day. In high volatility, you have to wait until much later in the day to get this condition. In low volatility, you can get that condition much earlier in the day because of the change in the rate of premium decay. In low volatility, that rate of premium decay has accelerated, so you get those conditions earlier. In high volatility, it's been delayed, so you don't get them until later. Hopefully that's making some sense. So on a day like today, volatility is slightly elevated compared to this morning. Not much. You can take a look at it in greater detail.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Sorry, it took me a minute to get off the mute button.
Yeah. So your scalping, I love that strategy, by the way, is typically relegated to later in the day. Unless you have super low volatility, then you can start thinking about it maybe at noontime, as early as noontime, maybe even at as early as 11:30 or so. But typically you don't look at scalping until about 2 o'clock, because that's when you're going to start getting the zero DTE decay really starting to ramp up. And with a low volatility environment, and what I mean by that is in zombie land, you're going to start seeing those opportunities somewhere between 1 and 2 start forming. In higher volatility, in Goldilocks, you don't start seeing those until 2:30, 2:45, 3 o'clock, sometimes as late as 3:30 if volatility is way up.
Yeah, mine yesterday was really late, last half hour.
Because volatility was much higher.
But it had been in compression like for hours before that.
So it dropped down right here.
It was going to go one way or the other, but you didn't know which way.
Yeah. It dropped down way here. Your gamma went way up, and there was a structural level here, I'm pretty sure, is what happened. You got into a trade, and then bam, it just exploded up, or exploded down rather.
Yeah.
So I can tell what happened in volatility here. So during the day, we can see that it was slowly going down. And that's what was happening yesterday when it went up to a certain point and then started to do this. And if you remember, I said right around here, I said, man, it looks like we're going to break up or down. I didn't know which one. And then about an hour later, it went like this. And you took the scalp right about there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I had a call on that needed a 20-point move to get into the tent. So I felt like I was covered in that direction. And so I said, hey, what the hell, for 40 cents, let me hedge. And it was funny because Convexity said that there was a 80% probability of it popping up. Or no, like a 60% probability that it would pop up, and like a 20% probability that it wouldn't pop, and then a very smaller probability that it would go down. And I ignored that and just took the insurance and lucked out. Just a lucky trade. But that coiling, that happens all the time. You see that pattern all the time. A lot of times midday, we get into that compression, positive gamma, up, down, around a magnet. And so that trade is set up a lot lately.
I'll show everybody where it was. This is exactly where it was. And we were getting a wedge right there. This is where I got out. There was a big structural element right here, and then this is where everything broke down. And I'm assuming that's the perfect setup for a gamma scalp. So as we're moving up, volatility is dropping, premium is decaying faster and faster. The gamma curve is getting steeper. We're on a structural level, a wall here. You can put on a fly like right here, and that profit curve starts looking like this. And then when it drops, bam, you can move 5 or 10 points and make several $100s on a single contract. That's the setup.
Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button below. If you're interested in becoming a pro trader, remember to check out the link in the description for Ernie's school community.